excited to have you guys here, and we know we'll have more people trickling in. So we are recording the session and we'll send it out for those that missed it, or for you to also refer back to. We've got lots of stuff to cover off, a little bit of touching on what we've done in 2022 and where we're going in 2023. And more importantly, we really want to hear about from you guys as to where you're heading. And we're going to talk a little bit about how the CWN community and our programs can continue to help you. So please use the QR code that's on the screen to log into the Mighty Networks platform if you haven't been there in a while. We do, want to, that's the forum we're using to convene everybody and share our programming. So if you're not in there, then it's a good time to kind of get a refresher. So we'll kick things off with a bit of thank you to the sponsors that have helped get us to where we are today over the last couple of years. So here's some logos of organizations and people that have aligned missions with us and have been supporting us over the last couple of years in one or many ways. So just a huge thank you to their support, and for those that are on the call today. I know I saw Carly there from Artemis, and if there's any others, just thank you very much. We're going to go through some 2022 highlights and kind of share the massive growth that we've had last year. So we started off with around 200 members and ended the year close to 700, which we are now at. We started off the year doing a lot of online because we were still, very much in COVID times, but we did migrate into in-person. We started with just, 12 women around a table at Earl's in Edmonton, and we grew to 1,000 women in the room in Calgary at the end of the year. So overall, we hosted 7 in-person events and had over 1,000 attendees to those. And through some of the programs that we run, we made over 1,200 investor connections. That is the core of what we really do, is try to help Canadian entrepreneurs get access and introductions to our influential network of US investors. We do that through a couple of signature programs, one being our Founded in Canada showcases. And I know that there's some of our past participants on here today, so thank you for participating in that. And then a Founder Funder series, which was more like a virtual networking cocktail party. And we're going to continue with some of those in the new year. We also profiled 14 female founders through our Founder Spotlight series. We continue to hear that's one of the ways that we can really help profile the great work that you're doing and get you guys known. And we do that through our Spotlight series, as well as Disruption Magazine and our pretty deep social media networks that we have. So we're really proud of that. And we're going to be doing more this year. We piloted a 10-week fundraising accelerator program. It's not like that's the first time we've ever done one, but we did it in a little bit different format. And I know we do have some of those participants on this, and we're going to continue doing that. And that was Kennedy will go into that because we have one kicking off in February as well. And we ended the year on the best high note ever, where we had 25 founders come down from Canada, from across the country, to attend our Pathway to Silicon Valley immersion event. And that is really where we started, and how we started CWN was with that program back in 2018. So it was really amazing to be able to go back to our roots and have such a huge successful event with the 25 women. Never before have I heard from all the participants that we exceeded expectations and hit it out of the park, and they really, really appreciated the introduction, I believe, to the network. And again, some of those women are on here today, so just thank you for participating in that. So you can find this report on our website as well if you want to look through it and download it. It's directly on our main page there, and you can see all the things that we've done. But more importantly, in 2023, what we're going to do is go to the next level for ourselves. And as one founder from my very first CWN immersion program said, we want to take it to the next 10 levels. So our goal is really about driving impact this year. We've done a lot of community building, network growth, kind of helping founders at some early stage. And now for us, we want to focus on where can we help some of you guys get to like your next milestone, be that investment, maybe customer and revenue, maybe it's a key team member, advisors or board members. And again, our sweet spot is really the US market. We really want to amplify you guys on the global stage to really maximize your reach. And again, we've got many ways and avenues that we do that. And with the CWN platform, we really hope and encourage this community of women so that there's peer-to-peer sharing, peer-to-peer networking, peer-to-peer learning. So that's why we keep pushing the Mighty Networks platform and our community for you to be able to go in there and connect in. And then, you know, again, at our sweet spot is just leveraging our influential network that we've built since 2014. And our goal is how can we help, you know, you as a founder on your fundraising path, really close that fundraise and get to your next milestone. So everything that we're doing this year is about trying to help you. But in order to do so, we kind of need to know how we can help you. We've got programs that we're going to go through, but we'd love to take this moment right now and have you guys all answer this question in the chat. So we'll just take a couple of minutes and please tell us as specific as you can or as high level as you want, what keeps you up at night? And we're just going to take a couple moments of silence. So, you know, you guys think about that and post. And I'm sure we'll see some themes. Children and investors. Are they the same thing? Cash flow and revenue. Time management. Gosh, Nikki, if someone could figure that out for me, I would love it. Yeah. Yeah, some really consistent themes and probably not surprising in here. I like that, Charlene. Yeah, hitting revenue and doing that in an authentic way. That's so important. Kennedy I just had a great conversation yesterday with the group that we're hoping to bring in that sort of really speaks to how us as women can lean into our own authentic way and not fit into kind of the square box sometimes as we know that exists out there, especially on the investor side. All right. Thank you for that. One other question that we have for you. So since our goal is about driving impact in this year, we would like you to take a moment to really think big. It's a year from now, and we'd love to be able to hear from you. There's one thing that we did that had a significant impact on your business. What would that be? You know, in 2023, CWN helped us fill in the blank. We achieved what? And this one we can be a little bit more specific too on. Is it one large enterprise customer at $100,000 annual contract? Is it, you know, your first $500,000 in investment? Is it figuring out that you had the product market fit? Is it a key hire? Do you need an executive on your team? Do you need, you know, to really feel like you're owning your own leadership? Awesome. I love these. Thank you, guys. We truly, truly hope it's our raison d'etre this year that we're going to be able to report at the end of the year and going into next year some of these things for your organizations. And if the programs and events and offerings and services and things that we do miss the mark, then we want to know how else or what else we can do. And it might not even be the things that we can do, but again, maybe it's the connections that we have, the wayfinding that we can help you with, just things that we can lead you to. Because I also know, we can't do everything for everybody, even though sometimes I really try. Great. Thank you so much for all of that. For those that maybe haven't been into the plan or just need a refresher on kind of CWN in our community, everybody is welcome into our community. We have a free network access plan that allows you to come in and kind of start your journey with us. And we hope that you'll always remain in our community and kind of grow with us. This free network plan allows you access to all the things that we've been doing in the last year, the webinars, collaborative coffees, the happy hours and gatherings, access to our network within our platform, participation in our showcases, being able to apply for the programs like our fundraising accelerator. And we've had one partner perk or two over the last year or two, and we're going to be adding some more to that. So everybody is welcome in and can have access to these great resources, because we fundamentally truly believe and want to help all founders at the earliest stage in order to get to the next stage. But if you're at that next stage and you're really looking to what we use as our tagline now, grow locally but scale globally, then we have a growth plan. And last year we've had this as well. But we were a little bit flexible as we were growing the business, and honestly just didn't have the resources to really have too many guideposts around it. But this year, we've really been spending the last quarter filling in the resources and the programming and the offerings that we have to make this impactful, which again is also aligned with our goal of helping to make some impact for you guys. Kennedy is going to go over a new platform that we have that you can be able to do mentor sessions or pitching to investors. That's been on the platform before and allowed you to do that. But again, taking it up 10 levels and being able to have that in a private area where you can have access to more of our networks and be able to find people that are aligned with what you need. We've amassed over the years a list of over 1,500, I count in my database, of investors. We tag them somewhat loosely on some different things like what they invest in, what industry and sector and where they're at. But because this is fundamentally the thing that founders are always asking for, is just like, where are those investors? We've put together an investor directory. Kennedy will walk you through that in a minute. From it. And so it gives you an amazing starting point that we're going to continue to build off of and get to. So I think there's maybe over 100 or so investors in there to start. We'll keep building off of that. Discounts into our signature programs, events, and workshops. This membership will pay for itself if you take advantage of just a couple of these offerings already. We've added some templates, videos, and different guides within a resource hub. And we're going to continue to spotlight female founders through, again, our various means that we have, social media, our magazine Disruption, our blog, and through our social channels. And then we have things like real talk sessions. So being able to, in a small group, connect with founders or industry experts. And then we also have a service where we work with startups that are looking to fundraise, and we feel like we know them and we can help them. That's an important piece on that. So we have a service that we can help you reach out to those targeted investors. And now I'll turn it over to Kennedy to dive into some of the programming.
Thanks, Joanne. And yeah, let's dive into each of these things. Please put in the chat if you've got questions anytime, and Joanne can alert me to those and put some links in the chat throughout. But I first wanted to just bring us back to the Mighty Networks platform, speak a little bit about it. You might have noticed, if it's been a while since you logged in, that it has a new look. So in December, Mighty Networks reorganized the platform and changed it a little bit. Before, you would have joined groups here on this sidebar to connect with each other. These are now what they call spaces, and spaces allow us to do a lot more and some new and different things. You know, they've added some new features like live streaming through the platform. So there's some interesting things that we're exploring, but for now, I would take a look and see about joining any spaces that you haven't already. So You can see there's a ton on my sidebar. You probably don't see that many. And that's probably because you haven't actually joined them. So I definitely recommend you explore, click around, and see which ones are relevant to you. So we've got them organized currently by interest. We've got, like, for example, a place for real talk, sharing your wins and challenges in the week, connecting founder to founder, connecting into Silicon Valley, learning about conferences and events across Canada. We've also got a section for industry, so you can connect with other food and egg tech founders, for example. Or by location. We've got 3 provinces right now on the platform. So if you're in Alberta, I definitely recommend you join this space to connect and chat with other Alberta-based founders. While I have this open, I definitely recommend that you edit and add to your profile. This is something that we're just constantly telling people to do. By going to your personal settings, edit profile, you can add in your industry, location, your links, your bio. It just makes it so much easier for people to connect with you. And part of these new spaces, a great thing is that it's allowed us to create things like a library. So this is one of our new offerings that you've probably seen us promoting. So yeah, the Free Resource Hub is our first time experimenting with the library. We've got 40 plus event recordings in here right now from last year. So anything you missed. I'm going to close my Mighty Networks because you can hear already the notifications, which is great. That means you guys are engaging. But yeah, check this out. We've also got Joanne has done some video series. She did a Tuesday tips. Those are in here. She's doing a new series on habits that will go in here. We've got a key to show you what kind of resources there are. So if it's a collaborative coffee or a fireside chat, for example, that's an event that we previously ran and you can watch and look back at. Something I wanted to point out is that we're going to be adding a new video series here called How I Raised. This was an idea that came from some members in our community and other communities that we work with, wanting to know really the nitty gritty. How did this founder get from A to B? You know, how many investors did they need to talk to close their round? And so that will manifest as a few videos in here and as well as some live events. So for example, we partnered with WEC this year to host a live webinar and do a live How I Raised interview. So those are coming. And as Joanne mentioned, we're also going to be putting together a growth member resource library. So that's going to have some more robust templates and resources for later stage startups. For example, we've got this really great fundraising checklist that we use with consulting clients, we've used with founders and found really helpful. So stuff like that will be in the growth member resource library, as well as another series that we're launching called 5 Minutes With. 5 minutes with interviews with investors in our network, experts, Silicon Valley connectors, really a chance for you to get to know them more on a personal level, a values level, and help with your own networking connections and outreach. So stay tuned for that added content. We're really excited to use this new feature in Mighty Networks and really build it up. Something else we're excited to do again are our pop-up events. So as Joanne mentioned, we really grew these pretty big last year, and there's definitely interest in doing these again. And so last year we had over 300 people come out, 16 speakers. We'll be hosting these again, hopefully in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, but also looking at some new places to add. We're looking at Ottawa, we're looking at Montreal, Kelowna, Saskatchewan. So we're still building out our events calendar, and I definitely recommend looking into these when we post them. I will say, I love this term. Somebody said this last month has been a bit of a dry January for us. We've been really focused on building these new products, these new offerings, and so excited to share some more events coming up. You'll be seeing on the platform coming soon. And to help us with that, I wanted to share more about our community city leads. So Joanne and I, Joanne's based in the States. It's just me. We can't be everywhere, and we know that you want more. We've heard from our members, the pop-ups are great, but they're once or twice a year so far. And there's a desire for more peer-to-peer networking and getting together. So we've recruited city leads to help us with that. And we're still got some positions open. So wanted to share a bit about the role. Basically, we're looking for 3 city leads in each of the cities listed here. The city leads will work together to come up with engagement ideas. They'll engage on the platform, help us sharing us out on social media, really be an ambassador and an advocate for us, going to a network event and mentioning us to those that they meet. And then hosting 1 to 2 smaller activations in their region. So this could be something like getting members together for coffee, for a working session, for a hike. I've already heard some really, really great ideas of how members are wanting to engage and really help build up and scale our community this year. And so with that, I'd love to announce some of our confirmed city leads. There's quite a few of them, I think, on the call today. So if you're here, definitely say hello in the chat or raise your hand. We definitely want to acknowledge you and thank you so much for stepping up and helping build up the community this year and bring some new excitement for 2023. So yeah, looking at my time, I'm just going to run through these really quick. We've got Danielle from She Summits and her co-founder. They've got a really great women's community as well. They're active in the outdoors. In Toronto, we got Julia from 111 and hoping to use the 111 space for some of these connections, which will be amazing. Fadwa from 137 ID, we featured her in Disruption recently and really excited for the new year. She's got some really great ideas. Lee from Tall Poppy, she participated in one of our showcases, has been around our membership for a while, and excited to use Hub 350 and some other spaces in Ottawa to engage this year. We got Andrea, who came with us down in San Francisco from Savvy Knowledge. She also took part in our fundraising accelerator. Paisley, also in Calgary, program manager at Digital Alberta, New Door Network, but super excited to engage. Cindy from Team CarePal has been around forever and super excited about building up the women's network in Edmonton, along with Corinne Ferguson, who's also taken part in our fundraising accelerator and will be engaging. So you can see that there's some spots open here. Definitely connect with me. I think Joanne's probably put my contact in the chat if you'd like to be part of this. And a few people have reached out to me in the last 24 hours, and I will be in touch. Joanne, I'm going to pause there and see if there's any questions so far that I should answer.
There's lots of excitement, and I don't know about questions per se, but if somebody does have a question, we can use the raise the hand or just go off mute there. Sure.
Okay, I will continue then. Okay, so something that Lee mentioned in the chat earlier, and sorry, I spelled your name wrong here, Lee. So we all have done founder spotlights in the last year, looking for ways to profile members within the community on our global stage. Like Joanne mentioned, we have access to great investors based in the US and really want to start sharing stories from within our network. So we've got a digital tech publication, Disruption magazine, that we acquired. We feature these founders through our blog, on our social media. Our managing editor through Disruption does all the interviews, the writing, and so really excited to continue to profile founders in the new year. And we do reserve this for our growth members. Also, these are the members that we interact with more and know and work closely with. So if you haven't looked at these, take a look, read some of the amazing women in our community. Okay, getting into more programming. So this is one that you would be familiar with. Last year, we ran 5 founder showcases. We selected 42 startups to participate in these last year and made 60 global investor connections through this program. This year, we're scaling it back a little bit. We're actually going to be focusing just on health and food and ag tech to start. So we've got scoped out these months for the upcoming showcases. A reminder on how these work: it's application-based. We use an investor selection committee to select the startups. We select 12 to participate. And leading up to the showcase, we help with some pitch development, some pitch feedback. Showcase day, you get 2 opportunities to pitch to 2 rooms of US investors in the morning and afternoon and receive feedback. And it's been a great way to make some warm introductions for founders and get some pitch feedback in a friendlier environment. So looking forward to hosting those again. Other ways to connect to investors in our network. Joanne mentioned that we're integrating a new platform. This is actually a startup that we've known for a while. It's an amazing platform called Mentorly, and it's going to help us streamline these meetings so much better in the new year. So for growth members, you'll automatically get access to this. There's only 50 spots to start. So we're going to have kind of an opt-in feature, see who's engaging, taking advantage of it. And yeah, this will be an opportunity for you to access one-on-one meetings with mentors in our network, gain pitch feedback from investors in our network, and book directly through the platform. It also helps us to match you. So you put in your the areas of expertise that you're looking for, and the system actually recommends who would be best to meet with. At the start, we know our members and who's kind of on here, so we could probably do that ourselves, but as we scale, it's going to be really handy and helpful for, I think, everybody involved. So yeah, you can see we've already got some really great people confirmed, like Tessie, associated with Seattle Angel Conference, Simone with UCSF, Iris, she's been part of our founder showcases, investor with Mighty Capital, and more. So over the next month, we'll be starting to onboard members, teaching you how to use this, teaching you how to book, and getting this offering going. Okay, and then more investor access. So for growth members, we wanted a way for you to see into our network, really see the value of it and who we're connected to. So we've started with putting together an investor directory. It's hosted on an Airtable. And so far we've got over 100 on here that we've onboarded. We'll keep adding to it and get to 500 by the end of the year. It's really just work in time for us adding these on, but you'll be able to look through, check out the investor, the check size stage, focus areas, you'll be able to sort it. So it's easier to find investors. We've got even more than what you see here. We've got their bio. We've noted what they've been involved with. So the investors on here so far are just investors that interacted in the last year. They've been part of a showcase, a pitch feedback session, a networking event. They know us, they've given back to our network and are familiar with us. So this is really meant to be a resource for you to help build your own investor outreach and know, who we're connected to and potentially who we could help you with. And with this, actually, I wanted to mention as well, this gave us a good idea for helping members connect. So we will admit that it's hard to find members right now on the platform. It's hard to figure out who's in your same, industry, same stage, same city. And so we're also right now developing an Airtable, a member black book, we're calling it, where you'll be able to similarly search through all the members of CWN, the 700 members, see who's part of the network, search them, and then figure out more easily who to connect with, reach out and message on the platform. Joanne, I just wanted to pause there. Anything that I should address?
There's another, so even though it's not as easy within the platform with here's the directory, maybe you can flip back to Mighty Networks and just show how easy it is to find somebody and maybe connect with them directly. So right now it's a lot of us talking to you guys as members. We really want members talking to each other. So you might not know is you can just use a chat feature within Mighty Networks to be able to find somebody and start a conversation. It can be one-to-one or it could be one-to-many. You can also use those groups. Maybe Kennedy, you can just flip over to Mighty Networks to show that. So say you're in food and ag tech, then there is that food and ag tech group. You can see the members within there and you can just reach out and connect, or you can post something directly. So for example, Muka, you were saying how you're going to be down here for the food and ag tech summit coming up. That would be a great thing. We might miss posting that event, although we shouldn't in here. But you could post something too about it and say who's going to be in town and start, a little group thread and discussion on it there. So here's again, it's on the left-hand side, connecting by the industry or by location. But on the top right, where you see Kennedy's picture and the 73 messages she hasn't read, to the left of that is another chat function. So you can just look up somebody and then, begin a conversation with them. And again, you can create a group messages within that as well. So it is going to be one of our asks of you guys as you go away at the end of today is to go into the platform and find at least one other person within your location, within your industry, or just maybe you really like the cool thing that they're working on and to connect with them, because we are doing this all for you guys. And so without you guys connecting with each other, we can only do so much. Yeah. Any questions? Thank you for all what you guys are saying. Appreciate that this is resonating with you.
Awesome. Okay, so if you think about kind of everything we've shared in terms of a customer journey or member journey, I feel like, we're starting to get deeper. And what are some of the offerings that we have where you can go deeper. So next I wanted to talk about our fundraising accelerator. Definitely need to put this on your radar. Our next one is starting in 2 weeks. So this is the time to really look at it, book a session with me to chat more if it's a good fit for you, and apply. We're starting up February 13th, so we still got 2 weeks here, but we're putting together the next cohort. So I wanted to get a little bit more into this, what's involved. It's a 10-week course. It's hosted through Mighty Networks, actually. So it's a mix of live and recorded content. First week is recorded content that you go through. There's homework pieces, templates, resources. Next week, we bring in the expert to do a 90-minute live session, answer your questions, go through case examples, and really work one-on-one with those part of the cohort. We have some people that took part of the course on the call, so feel free to put in your feedback. But yeah, we've got 5 experts that are taking part in this. So, you know, we've got Delilah Pinillo over here with TSX, who does this really great first session on benchmarking your pitch, teaching you that Silicon Valley mindset. What are investors really looking for? What do you really need to have in place when you're scaling and looking to access US capital? We've got VJ over here, who does a great session on startup valuation, digging into your milestones, your inflection points, and really defining what you need to get to that next level. Joanne does a great session on building your fundraising process, your target investor list, your pipeline, how to grab investors' attention, and digging a little bit deeper into that. We got Leanna Whittleton from Wilson Sonsini, great law firm that we partner with. Really, this was the one that I heard the most about from founders, digging into financing timelines, term sheets, due diligence, all the nitty-gritty that's super hard to understand. She was really, really great at going deep with that and helping the founders one-on-one. We also have Amy Kay that's come in with the course, our executive coach in residence. She's awesome. You've probably seen her. She's a force within our community. She does workshops where she gives discounts to CWN members. She's got a great podcast and always posting and uplifting the community. So she also works with this course and helps you to get your mindset ready for the fundraising process, because it can be really tough, discouraging, and honestly painful sometimes. So really working through some of those challenges and within the cohort. And that's something that I really heard from our last alumni. We have them featured on our website, and they've offered to talk to anybody that is wondering if this course is worth, good fit for them and where they're at within the community and their journey within it. Is that working within that curated cohort was very helpful. You know, the founder journey is lonely. And so having that week-to-week connection was really helpful. And I wanted to just show you the website where you can learn more, read more about the course, overview, what's covered. So yeah, Joanne will put that link in the chat for the fundraising course, our timelines, and when applications close, some of the other benefits, and then who participated in the last round. Awesome. Okay, we're getting towards the end, but I had to mention our signature event. Last year, beginning of the year, we really wanted to bring back how CWN started, which is bringing founders physically to the Valley. And we were able to do that again in December. We brought, like Joanne mentioned, 25 founders for an amazing week of programming, mix of panels, workshops, investor meetings, and networking events. So it was very successful that we're actually going to be running it again twice this year. So the next one will be June 12 to 15. And you can apply or register now to join this trip. We've got early bird tickets available. We also have an installments plan if you wanted to secure an early bird price but not pay it all up front. And so we can share that form as well here, or you can reach out to me. Definitely want to encourage you, if you've heard of My Tax travel funding, majority of the founders that came down accessed that. The program loves us. They're actually featuring the program in a upcoming article because it was pretty successful. So that covers up to $5,000 in travel funding to come down. You can apply for that travel funding multiple times throughout the year. So definitely encourage you to look into that if you're thinking of joining us. So yeah, here is I'm just going to flip to the next slide. Oh, some more about the trip. We brought in 29 speakers. We had 80 investors, mentors, executive leaders join us throughout the week and at our networking events. And yeah, some really, really great feedback from investors. So much so actually that we are doing a part 2. So a lot of the founders that joined us said, you know, if you guys can organize something again in 3-4 months, I'll come down again. So we're doing that. We're calling it Pathway 2.0, and it's a new trip that we're hoping to develop and run more throughout the coming years. A little bit more one-on-one, only 10 founders joining for this cohort, the 2.0, more investor time, a full day of investor meetings, and a dedicated investor networking event, and a networking event with founders, takes more later stage founders that have moved to the Bay Area, and more. So definitely also reach out to our team if you're interested in joining that. We're just confirming dates, but we're actually looking at end of March, beginning of April. And this is the advertisement for Pathway 1.0. Definitely though, want to show you the website as well. Pathway 1.0, with the trip we did in December, it's going to look very similar to this one. So if you're interested in joining, look through, read the program that we had, to see if the topics resonate. You can view our speakers. A lot of them would be joining again and running similar sessions. So you can see the caliber of people that we pulled in for that week. And you can also read more about the cohort, those that joined us, and the types of startups that participated. Also, I think many are happy to share their experience and more about their time in the Valley. Anything you wanted to add, Joanne?
That, you know, the Pathway 2.0 is really for companies that are really ready and serious for the fundraise, and ideally have some kind of meaningful traction that hits the mark for a Silicon Valley investor. So for companies that are looking to come here and start their journey and gain an understanding, and kind of more, I'd say, broader view with broader connections, Pathway 1.0 in June is the right one for you. If you've got that growth and you feel like you're really ready for US investment, then this is where, instead of just putting you in front of some of our investors for some feedback and some connections, this is putting you in front of your targeted investors. So you tell us what investors you're targeting. You can use our lists to build off of that. We can help augment a little bit through whom we know. But those 10 companies that are coming are going to be from all different industries. So we're not able to help every company figure out who their targeted investors are. But once you have a list, then we're going to go out to them and be helping. So just think of it as kind of your personal boots on the ground concierge service for the Pathway 2.0. It is more of a application based review. We have to both make sure that you're ready for it, and that we believe that, you know, you're ready for it as well. So it'll be less programmatic pieces and more curated. So again, what we did with 1.0 was a lot of speakers. We really filled up the day. We also heard that might have been a little too much for the founders. They'd like a little less, and less programming, more time to connect with each other, even more time to follow up for Pathway 1.0. That time, Pathway 2.0 will be kind of, you know, think about it as like one meaningful event a day, and more opportunities to connect in with Silicon Valley founders and more the Silicon Valley investor network here. And again, your targeted investors. So it's not really for the faint of heart. It's for those that are really serious. And it's one program where we hope that all of those 10 companies, we can say by the end of the year, in 12 months, that we help them achieve their, you know, their fundraising goal through our network. So we'll be selective with the companies that are interested in that.
Yeah. And I did want to mention that growth members do get discounts for both the fundraising and Pathway. So for Pathway, I actually put today in the discounts space on Mighty Networks, the discount code to get $200 off of the registration. So if you need help getting that code, also send me a message or an email.
So one other thing that we've done selectively and really never promoted it before is work with startups that we know that have been through programs before, I mean, I don't know how to say it, but that we feel we we can put in front of our network, and you won't make us look bad. You'll elevate us. So you guys really have to be ready. So some of the companies have been through, say, one of our Founded in Canada showcases is a good example of someone that we know a little bit and we can work with. This is not helping you really in your business. So it's us also believing that you're at a ready state, that if you bring us your list of investors, that we'll leverage our networks and our social capital and make some warm introductions for you. So it's a little hands-off, but kind of leveraging our networks, and allows you, if you're like, I just really need to reach these investors and I see that you're connected to 80% of them, which is usually what we get, then we can go out and we commit that we're going to get responses from at least 15 investors. We would love to say what that response would look like, but we have no control, but we'll continue to go out until we get that for you. And so this is a service that we do work with select companies on as well.
Okay, last thing with CWN is our Sweetheart deal. So Joanne showed what the price will be increasing to. Our growth membership is going to be increasing with all these added benefits and our focus on digging deeper, getting impact for our members. We're increasing it to $650 for an annual membership, but we're keeping it at $300 USD for our current members and for anyone that joins before February 14th. So yeah, I think that's a great deal. It's a lot, almost over, 50% discount here for the year, and to try out these new growth member offerings. And a thank you for being a longtime member and joining us early in our growth. It's really exciting that we're starting to grow big and start to scale. And I think, Joanne, you've got the link here. Yeah, she's put it in the chat of how to access that. But again, feel free to email me if you have any questions, or again, want to know more before upgrading your membership. Okay, we just wanted to mention a few added things. We're coming to the end of this call. Disruption. You guys have probably heard us blast and share disruption throughout all the last year. We acquired this over a year ago, and this publication to amplify tech entrepreneurs across Canada, women in our networks, and really just another lever to promote our community and our mission. So yeah, we've got a great subscriber base on this, and looking to profile startups, continue profiling startups through this in the coming year. So I put some of our themes for the next our next issues this year. So the next one's gonna be March, coming out around International Women's Day. It's all around investing in women. We're featuring femtech startups and women leaders, women programs. June, we're doing one all around travel, tourism. October, a health focus issue. And then December, we got year in review, but we might change that topic later on. Definitely check this out, subscribe, and watch out for profile opportunities. It's a great way to leverage and build up some profile that you could share with a potential investor, for example.
And if you guys know of companies in particular that are good or great writers, or people and things that we should feature, for example, TELUS Pollinator Fund featured a couple of their companies in here. DMZ was on the cover last issue, when we did our BIPOC issue. So if you're working with companies as clients or as partners out there, or you see organizations that really want to profile, Canadian tech, this one is not just about women. We do invite men into this magazine as well, but we love introductions to those companies and ways. And in particular, say you're part of an accelerator in Canada, that'd be a great thing to go to them to say, hey, Accelerator Center, or what is it? Invest in Nova Scotia now, I think is a new one, or Platform Calgary. Here's a great avenue that you could use to not only promote and profile what you guys are doing, but you could promote and profile some of the great things that you as a startup and that community is doing. So we love your help with that. Lastly, we've talked about this for a little while. Myself and Layla Yari have been working on launching an angel fund in Silicon Valley for well over a year. We've learned a lot along the way, and we are excited that we're finally going to be launching this. We have 20 global women as LPs. The goal is to get more women on the cap table of early stage companies. This is something that will be for any company looking to raise that, kind of first round of financing that's looking to Silicon Valley for that. So our check sizes will be $25,000 to $50,000. It's a collaborative investment model. So the fund size is going to be around 300,000. We'll deploy that capital over the course of a year. We think it's an incredible time to be investing in startups given the climate out there. So we will kick it off internally in February and likely announce more towards the end of February and March, where startups will be able to apply to our fund. However, there are 4 funds across Canada: Victoria, Vancouver, Okanagan, and Toronto. That those funds are up and running. Some invest just locally. One like Toronto invests across the Canadian ecosystem. There's one launching in the Atlantic region next month. So these are also great opportunities for you. So you can apply there. And if you don't get an answer, which I'm sure you will, but if you need any help with connections into the funds across Canada, let us know and we can facilitate with that.